Okay, if you clicked on this video, then chances are you're thinking about moving to Thailand. And you've probably heard a lot of people talk about how affordable it is in Thailand compared to most other countries. And aside from beautiful beaches, warm weather, amazing food, and everything else Thailand has to offer, the cost of living is definitely one of the main things that draws people to come to Thailand for an extended period of time. But while a lot of content creators share what it's like living in Thailand, not too many are willing to share exactly how much they spend each month living here. Our aim for this channel is to provide you guys with as much value as possible. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing what me and my wife spend each month living here in Thailand. And if you find this video helpful at all, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. Now, before I get into it, if you're new here, my name is Lloyd and my wife Mandy and I have been living in Thailand for almost a year after traveling around Southeast Asia and North America for almost 3 years as digital nomads and content creators. We live in a small coastal town named Hua Hin, which is just a couple hours south of Bangkok here in Thailand. And we chose to relocate to Hua Hin because of its close proximity to Bangkok, the beautiful beaches, the family-friendly atmosphere, but also the affordability. While Thailand in general is very cheap compared to most other countries in the world, places like Phuket and Koh Samui are a little bit more expensive when it comes to cost of living, especially for accommodation. So, let's break down all of our monthly living expenses one by one, and at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you what our total living expenses are per month here in Thailand. Okay, let's start with probably the most important expense, which is accommodation, because obviously you're gonna need a roof over your head if you're living here. We live in a 3-bedroom villa, which is located pretty much right in the center of Hua Hin. It's close enough to a lot of amenities like cafes and restaurants that we can walk to, but it's actually far enough from the nightlife and the hustle and bustle, and it's really peaceful and quiet at night. Our villa isn't huge by any standards, and I wouldn't exactly classify it as luxurious, but it's got everything we need and we're really happy with where we live. So for our villa, we pay a total of 35,000 Thai baht per month, which includes garden maintenance 3 times per week and pool maintenance, I believe, twice a week. But one thing it doesn't include is electricity, and you'll actually find that most long-term accommodation in Thailand doesn't include electricity, unless you're renting through Airbnb. So our electricity bill usually averages between 4,000 to 6,000 Thai baht per month, depending on how much we're using, which honestly seems a little bit high considering just how cheap like everything else is in Thailand. I was a little bit surprised when we got our first bill, but when you take into account the fact that we're running a pool pump every day and we're also running air conditioning pretty much all the time, like we try to turn it off in the morning once we get out of bed and not turn it on again until the afternoon. But there are some days here in Thailand where it just gets too hot and we end up running it for most of the day. And of course, it's running all night when we sleep because we like to sleep in cold temperature. So when we were looking for accommodation here in Hua Hin, we were trying to find something under 40,000 Thai baht. That was kind of our ceiling. And it was pretty easy to find a lot of places for that price, but most of them were pretty far out of town or very far from the beach, which wasn't ideal for us. So we really got lucky with this place. But if you're a single person and you don't have a dog like us, and maybe you just prefer to live in a condo, you can definitely find accommodation for much cheaper than what we pay. You could probably expect to pay between 15 and 20,000 baht for a single bedroom apartment, or probably even as low as 10,000 baht for a studio apartment. Now, we also just started using a housekeeper to help us with deep cleaning of our villa, and she charges 220 baht per hour. We usually get her to come twice a week for about 2 to 3 hours, which is honestly more than enough for us. And I know this is a little bit of a luxury, but it's been super helpful for us, especially with my wife Mandy being pregnant and both of us working a lot. It's really made life a lot easier and we think it's worth it. We're really grateful to have her. One cost you really don't want to skimp out on, especially when you're living in Thailand, is having a VPN, and especially because it's so affordable, starting at just $2.80 per month. And in case you don't know what VPN stands for, it's Virtual Private Network. So basically it acts like a mask, encrypting all of your data that gets sent between your computer and the internet so that no one can steal all of your sensitive information. Up until just a few months ago, we actually didn't have access to our own Wi-Fi because we were traveling full time, which meant going to places like cafes, public libraries, or co-working spaces to get all of our work done. And that means logging on to public Wi-Fi. And not only that, when we were traveling to other countries, we were staying in hotels and Airbnbs, and we were constantly using public Wi-Fi, whether it be in airports or trains or buses, wherever it was. We pretty much used whatever Wi-Fi was available at the time. But here's the thing, public Wi-Fi is an absolute goldmine for hackers, which is why for over 2 years now, we've been using our Surfshark VPN, and still to this day, even in our villa, I never go online without first firing up my VPN. But that's just one reason we use Surfshark. The other reason is that it lets us log on to servers from all over the world, which means accessing streaming services from other countries such as HBO and Netflix. So don't leave yourself vulnerable to hackers any longer. Secure your privacy with Surfshark by clicking the link down below to get 4 months extra. Okay, the next thing you're gonna need to pay for is transport, and we've been renting a scooter on and off pretty much since we got here in November last year, and we pay 4,000 Thai baht per month for our scooter rental. It's a pretty nice scooter, it's 150 cc's, and it's big enough to carry both of us, although with Mandy being pregnant, not really anymore, but I'm quite tall, I'm 6'2", and it's kind of the only scooter I really fit on. If you're a smaller person, or if you're on your own and there's not two of you, you could probably get away with renting a much cheaper scooter, and you could probably expect to pay around 3,000 to 3,500 Thai baht per month. Next up on the list is groceries. So we usually try to go grocery shopping about once a week, and we spend around 2,500 Thai baht every time we go to the store. And this really gets us just all of our basic necessities that we need to cook breakfast and a couple of dinners and maybe a couple of lunches at home for the week, as well as just things like tea, coffee, drinks, snacks, and all that sort of stuff. And to be honest, we could probably do it a lot cheaper if we shopped at a cheaper grocery store, but we prefer to go to one of the nicer grocery stores here in Hua Hin because it has a lot of fresh fruit and veg and produce, as well as a good selection of meats and kind of just everything we really need that we would usually buy back home. We also like to go out to dinner or lunch, usually a couple of times a week, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And we usually spend anywhere from 400 to 600 Thai baht every time we go out to a restaurant to eat. It kind of depends. Sometimes if we go to a local restaurant or markets, and if we're not having a drink or anything like that, we can pay a little bit less than that, maybe like 300. But if we want to go and get some pizza or burgers or Mediterranean food or something, for instance, then generally the bill's probably around 600 baht. And sometimes if we're not cooking or if we just don't feel like going out, we'll order takeaway from Grab Delivery. We honestly usually do this a few times a week, either for lunch or dinner, and we try not to spend anything more than 400 Thai baht when we do. I also like to grab a takeaway coffee here and there when we go to the beach in the morning or before I go to train, and that costs me 60 baht each time, which is only about $2. Also, if you're going to be living in a place like Thailand, you definitely should think about having some form of travel insurance, as well as probably health insurance. For our full comprehensive health insurance, that covers us for pretty much everything from hospital bills to road accidents, even maternity for Mandy. We pay around 4,300 Thai baht each per month. But that price can vary depending on your age, which country you're in, which country you're from, and also what sort of coverage you would like. Before we moved here, we were paying about 1,300 Thai baht each, and that was just for basic travel insurance. But when we decided to move to Thailand and we knew we were going to be having a baby, we obviously needed a better full comprehensive health insurance, which is why we upgraded. Another thing that's super important to us is our health and fitness. So I have a gym membership here, and all gym memberships here are actually extremely cheap. I pay about 850 Thai baht per month for a full gym membership, which I usually use 3 to 4 times a week. I also train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 4. And that costs me 4,500 Thai baht for an unlimited membership. I can go there any day of the week. We also both like to do yoga. Mandy does it a little bit more than me, but we pay 3,500 Thai baht, which gets us 20 classes. That usually lasts us at least a month, sometimes 2 months. And the yoga studio is actually really good. Another expense is if we don't feel like driving or riding our scooter when we want to go out to dinner or something, we pay for a Grab taxi, and we can pretty much get anywhere within the city for under 100 baht. Usually it's like 70 or 80 baht, which is just a couple of dollars, and it's so convenient. It's so easy. As soon as we order a taxi, it pretty much shows up within 5 minutes, and it can take us anywhere within the city, as I said, for under 100 baht, which is super convenient. So if we add up all of our expenses, it comes to around 60,000 Thai baht per month, or just over 1,800 US dollars and around 2,600 Aussie dollars. But remember that this does include some luxuries such as housekeeping, going out for dinner, gym expenses, yoga, takeaway coffees, and also our fully comprehensive health insurance plan. If we wanted to live a lot cheaper and didn't spend money on these extras, our cost of living could be far less. And we could honestly do without the swimming pool in our villa and live in a much smaller place, but we don't really want to do that. Also, if you're a single person who's looking to move to Thailand, you could probably expect to spend probably half this amount on your living expenses per month. And honestly, if you really wanted to live on a budget, you could probably get that number way down just by renting a cheap condo and eating out at local restaurants every night, because it actually costs more for us to go to the grocery store and cook our own food than going out to local restaurants. It's just that because we were on the road for so long, we sort of see it as a bit of a luxury to be able to cook our own meals from time to time. And that's just something we choose to do. So let us know what you guys think down below in the comments. Is that more than what you expected we would be paying? Is it cheaper than what you thought it would be to live in Thailand for a month? I'd be interested to hear your opinion and how it compares to what you pay for living expenses where you're living. And if you're thinking about coming to Thailand, check out the rest of our Thailand travel vlogs as well as travel tips. And if you made it this far, we appreciate it. Please remember to like and subscribe. Cheers.